The Detroit Pistons handle business this week, defeating the Chicago Bulls on a back-to-back in Chicago. They now head into the All-Star break, 3 games over 500. We'll talk about how they've played so far this season, what's led to them being at this record heading into the All-Star break. Today's episode, Locked On Pistons Podcast. Let's go.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. Per usual, I'm your host, Ku Cahill. You can find me over on Twitter at Ku Cahill. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. That's another great way to support the podcast. We are now less than 200 subs away from 10,000 subscribers. If you're listening or you're watching and you haven't hit that subscribe button already, please go do it. No, actually, now we're less than 150 away. Can't believe it. Trying to get there by the end of the year. We should get there soon. If you haven't already, again, hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. Also, head over to my personal YouTube channel at Ku Cahill. Hit that subscribe button because you will get film breakdowns almost every single day. I'm going to have another one today over the last win over the Chicago Bulls. And lastly, before we get into the episode, join the playback room. I'll link it down below. We had a fun time watching this last game against the Chicago Bulls. We have Pistons fans, Locked On Pistons listeners, joining me watching the game all together. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to play you guys a clip just so you guys can get an idea of what it looks like having everyone around watching the Pistons game together.
Can a star get 20? Can a star get 20? That 19.
Good rep. It has to be. Has to be an oop. Hold up.
Has to be.
Oh. No way. No way, bro. No. Not catching a lob midair and throwing it back.
Crazy, dog.
No
That's
way.
crazy.
Just threw a lob back while in air. Two Duren trailing, bro.
No, yeah.
There's no way. What?
That's different. That's different.
So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun with it. So, you want to join us? Hang out in the room. I'll link it down below. But, all right, the Pistons are heading into the All-Star break over 500 for the first time since 2009. Yeah, you heard me correctly. First time since 2009 that they are heading into the All-Star break over 500. And they're heading into their 3 games over 500. They are 6-2 in their last 8 games. They are now on a 4-game winning streak after beating, it's not the greatest competition, but handling your business against teams that aren't on your level is part of what makes you a really good playoff team. It's not just about beating the great teams. It's about handling your business and not losing to teams you shouldn't lose to. That's more than half the battle. So they beat Philadelphia. They beat Charlotte. And by the way, Philadelphia had Embiid, PG, and Maxey, by the way, and they still beat them. And that was without Cade, by the way. So actually, that's still a really damn good win. But beat Philly, Charlotte, and then Chicago back-to-back. They're on a 4-game win streak heading into the All-Star break. What has led to them playing so well? I think that is what makes this most exciting. I think easily that's what makes this the most exciting is that they are being led by their big 3. The big 3 of their young core is absolutely leading the way for how well they've been playing, and they look off the charts exceptional together lately. And that's Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and Ausar Thompson. They have been absolutely fantastic. They are leading this team on both ends of the floor and providing highlight plays, consistent offense, just giving you the complete repertoire of what you expected to see from all of these guys. Ausar Thompson, let's start there. I mean, we've talked about him ad nauseum over the last 5 episodes because of how great he's been. But heading into the All-Star break, let's look at his last 7 games. His last 7 games averaging 15 points a game. 15 points a game. 15 points a game, 6.1 rebounds, 4.4 assists, 2.1 steals on 70% shooting. He's shooting 8.4 attempts a game while also getting to the free throw line 5 times a game. He's shooting 61% on those free throws. Like to see that get a little bit higher. Over the last 11 or so games, he's actually closer to 70%. That's where you'd like it to be. But over the last 7 games, you got a guy scoring 15 points a game, playmaking, rebounding, getting steals, forcing transition opportunities. And by the way, he's not turning the ball over. Part of the stuff that came with the, if you give the ball to him and you put the ball in his hand to tell him to play make, he's going to turn the ball over because his handle isn't good enough. He's not, blah, 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 blah. He's actually not turning the ball over a lot at all. He's having 1.4 turnovers. What is that? That's a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, right? 1.4, 2.8, 4. Yeah. He has a 3-to-1 turnover ratio. He's not turned the ball over. He's finding guys open. He's generating good offense, and he's been more aggressive as ever as a scorer. And JB Bickerstaff was talking about this after the game yesterday. Oh my God, I lost the quote. Give me just a second as I pull up the quote. But he's been much more aggressive as a scorer, which is opening up so many things for the Pistons offense. Last episode we talked about how Ausar Thompson is playing. It's completely unlocking the Detroit Pistons offense. I don't think anybody would have expected to hear that Ausar Thompson is the one unlocking the Detroit Pistons offense. Here's the quote right here from JB after the game yesterday against Chicago. He said he's growing into the role that this team needs him to be in. Offensively, we need him to be a threat. He's an elite playmaker. Some of the passes he threw tonight, and he went quiet for a second. Then he said he's a special passer, but now you see his confidence is growing as he's finishing at the rim. He had a pass. The play we showed from playback that we all were losing our minds on. He caught a lob with one hand falling over and threw it back off a lob, like some 2K double alley-oop stuff. Caught the ball with one hand, threw it back to Duren trailing, got him an open dunk. That's just absurd, bro. That's absolutely absurd. He's been playing amazing. Then you go on to Jalen Duren. Over the last 4 games, for Jalen Duren, he has 5+ assists in each game. 5+ assists in each game. 7 assists against Philly. 6 assists against Charlotte. 5 assists in each game against Chicago. And look at his assist-to-turnover ratio over the last 4 games. 5.8 assists a game to just 1.8 turnovers. The playmaking beast that I talked about in the offseason that I believed in, that we didn't get to see for some reason until recently over the last month or so. You are starting to see that with Jalen Duren. He is self-creating for himself at the high post. He's taking guys off the dribble when he rejects a DHO, which I've had some of you guys ask what a DHO is, dribble handoff. When he rejects that, he takes it to the rim, and he's able to finish at the rim. He has a good enough handle to get all the way there. His interior passing with him and Ausar has been lights out. It's part of the reason why people believe that despite the fact that they both are not shooters, you can make it work when they both have that high level of playmaking. They still can create for each other and create for others. There was one play early in the game in the first quarter. Cade gets 2 on the ball because he attracts that type of gravity. He then kicks it to but dumps it off to a short rolling Jalen Duren. Without even looking, throws kind of like a bounce pass behind his back to Ausar Thompson because he knows Ausar is going to be there cutting. Ausar catches the ball cutting down the baseline, and as soon as Ausar catches it, he then whips it back out to an open 3 for Tobias. That all happened like that. That's like quick as ever. Constant ball movement, creating good looks, and constantly creating good playmaking reps. It's fantastic what you're seeing from them. JD's been better on defense. He's remained to be uber efficient as a scorer and finisher on offense. He remains a really good rebounder. And by the way, he's putting up 12 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 65% shooting in just 26 minutes a game over the last 4 games. He's been fantastic as well. Those 2 guys have been otherworldly. It's been so exciting and fun to watch both of those guys play, how they've been playing. And I said it yesterday on Twitter. If Jalen Duren is going to play like he has the last month, if this is not just a stretch, and he's finally figured it out, like he mentioned in the postgame, that he realized he wasn't playing how he should have been playing. He was being soft, he called it. Now he's finally figuring out how he has to be, and he's going to be this way every night. If that's who he's going to be every night, like he's been over the last month and a half, give him that extension. If he's like this every night, if this is who he is now, he's bought into this, and he's consistent, give him that extension, man. Give him that extension. And then obviously we ended off with the franchise player, Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, I want to let you guys know on this. Let's go to January. Let's start since January 4th. You guys know that Cade's averaging 28 points a game since January 4th. Cade's getting to the free throw line 6 times a game since January 4th, shooting 92% from the free throw line. He has scoring outputs of 40, 32, 32, 36, 35, 40, 38, 32. You know that's what Cade Cunningham's doing right now. You know he's averaging 9.3 assists a game. The turnovers are at 4.5, but it's still over a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. He's shooting 46% from the field. Cade Cunningham is playing great basketball. He's getting to the free throw line a lot more. A lot more. He's starting to draw free throws. You love to see it. These 3 guys, man. These 3 guys, man, have been tremendous. And they're leading the Pistons back to a type of brand of basketball that you quite literally have not seen them play since 2009. Even the 2016 team wasn't this good at this point of the year. Even the year with Blake, they were not this good at this time of the year. Now, they heated up a little bit after the All-Star break, but at this point of the year, no team since 2009 has been this good at this point in the year. And this is primarily due to your 3 young studs. Cade Cunningham, your franchise player, who I've been seeing, and it makes me super happy to see, has been getting treated like the king of Detroit, basically, at Piston games lately. Cade Cunningham, Ausar Thompson, and Jalen Duren are leading the way. Great way to heading to the All-Star break. 4-game win streak. Young guys leading the way. It's been absolutely so exciting to watch and so much fun to watch and cover. So let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about how the Detroit Pistons are playing heading into the All-Star break. How you feel about the 3 young guys leading the way. Obviously Cade, but then Jalen Duren and Ausar Thompson joining him and playing this well. Let me know. Comment section down below or over on Twitter at Kuka. When we come back, there is a to-do list. Some things that have to improve for them to continue to play this well and to keep things consistent. Things still you have to constantly be trying to get better. And there are some things they need to get better at. We'll talk about what those things are when we come back. After the holiday hustle, there's nothing like giving your home a little TLC. I always find that decluttering and refreshing my space helps me get back into a routine. Whether you're into tidying up, clearing out, or just want to give your space a new look to start the year, Wayfair has everything you need, all within your budget. I'm currently looking for furniture, and their huge selection makes it easy to find pieces that fit my style and budget. But my favorite part, the free and hassle-free delivery, even for the larger items. Wayfair's site was so easy to navigate, and I found everything I needed to in no time, and I know you guys will as well. If you're looking at giving your home the refresh it needs, try it with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home with Wayfair. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review. Over the last, I'm already getting ahead started with this next segment. Leave us a 5-star review, whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to my personal YouTube channel. Join us at Playback. All that good stuff. All right, anyways, what I was going to say, which I just jumped right into. I was just too excited about the Pistons lately. One of the things that the Pistons have to improve on after the All-Star break. We're going to start with Cade Cunningham. Now, while Cade has been scoring more than he ever has, and that's true, and they've needed him to increase his scoring. And I love the fact that he's increased his scoring. And he's getting to the free throw line more. He's leading them to these wins. And he's shooting much higher from the free throw line like we expected him to do outside the first 2 months of the year where he was shooting unexpectedly and honestly just insane, 75, 76% from the free throw line, which is just absurd. His three-point shot has betrayed him. Now, I know he's in the three-point contest, and maybe the three-point contest injects the magic back into him. But his three-point shooting has betrayed him and stopped him from averaging 32-plus on ultra efficiency. If his three-point shot was there as of late, we'd be talking about Cade in an even higher discussion. However, over the last 14 games, Cade is shooting 26% from three. He's shooting 5.9 attempts a game, around the same volume he has all year, but only 26%. Really bad. I don't think a lot of these are coming on spot-up opportunities. I think it's more so his pull-up attempts have started to betray him a little bit. He's not shooting nearly as high of a percentage over the last 14 to 15 games on pull-up threes like he was for the majority of this year, which was one of the biggest improvements in his game was his pull-up three-point shooting. Now, do I think it's gone? No, I think he's just in a dry spell. You're going to ride ups and downs throughout the year. I think that's what you're dealing with right now. However, that's an area that they're going to absolutely need him to improve on and get back to shooting how he was, in the month of January and before on pull-up threes. He needs to get much more efficient. Obviously, it's hurting his efficiency, which obviously is then hurting the offense's efficiency. He improves that, he's going to be lights out, and everything's going to be good. But that's one area that they absolutely have to improve on, or he has to improve on and get back and, start being more consistent again with his pull-up three-point shooting. Outside of that, I mean, I love how much he's getting to the free throw line. I love how well he's shooting from the free throw line. I love how much he's involved defensively. I love how he's trusting his teammates to create plays after he gets 2 on the ball. Obviously, we love his playmaking. We love his aggressiveness. The only thing I need from Cade is for him to start shooting better from 3 again. 26%. At one point in this year, he was shooting 38% from 3 on a good volume. And now, because of this recent stretch, it's all the way back down to 35%, which is even worse than he was shooting last year. Last year, he shot 35.6%. Right now in the season, he's at 35.1%. So this recent stretch has really killed his three-point shot. But I expect it to get back. He has to improve on that. That will do wonders for the Pistons to help maintain this level of play and continue to win more games. Something else that has to improve on for the Pistons. After the All-Star break, if they want to maintain this level of play and be consistent, they need Simone Fontecchio to wake up. Like, they need him to wake up and start doing something. Because his play has been, it's been really bad. Like, straight up really bad. And the thing with this is that it's not like it's in December where you can say, oh, it's just a rough start to the year, he'll turn it around. It's not like it's January where it's a rough start to the year, you can turn it around. We are now on, it's February 13th right now. Like, we are like way ahead of halfway through the season already. He's just been bad. He's just been straight up bad for the Pistons. There is literally a 4-play sequence yesterday from Simone, back to back to back to back, where it was just bad shot, hit the side of the backboard, threw a turnover, forced a shot at the rim, didn't get a foul call, air ball delay. Like, it was literally 4 back to back to back to back possessions of Simone just playing terrible. And for the majority of this year, Simone has been pretty bad. I think it would be reasonable to say that he's probably been the worst player in their rotation. He's shooting 38% from the field, down to 32% from 3, which would be the worst of his NBA career, which is a really short career, but of his NBA career. And he's averaging 6.3 points a game. Not doing very well. They need him to play much better. Because obviously you're past the trade deadline. It's not like you're replacing him. It's not like you can upgrade to that position. They just need him to play better now. And like I said, there's no one else to replace him. They don't have anyone else that you can be like, okay, well, we'll just give his minutes to this guy, or we'll just give his minutes to this person. He's the one who spells Tobias, basically. When Tobias comes out the game, Simone is the one that spells him at the 4 position. They need Simone to just be passable. Just passable. He hasn't even been that this year, which is depressing. It really is. Because of how well he played last year for the Pistons. It's just truly shocking how much he's fallen off. Like, just to give you guys an idea or help you guys remember how good he was last year for the Pistons. I mean, this guy averaged 15 points a game, 48% from the field, 43% from 3 on 6.3 attempts. Like, he was fantastic for the Pistons last year. 59 efficiency field goal percentage, 54% on 2s. This year, he's on 47% from 2s. Like, he was fantastic for the Pistons last year. And this year, he just has been, like, straight up bad. So they need him to be much better. They've been winning despite it. It's not like he has a huge role in the rotation, but him playing better would definitely help the team, obviously, and would give them a better chance at sustaining this level of play moving forward for the rest of the year so they can maintain this 6th seed and maybe even move up to the 5th seed, where they're, I believe, as of right now, a game and a half behind Milwaukee. Milwaukee got that cowardice win. Just absolute crazy win. No Giannis. Kyle Kuzma, man. Kyle Kuzma screws the Pistons over. Like, come on, man. But yeah, they need Simone Fontecchio to play better. They need Cade to start shooting better from 3. Specifically, his off the dribble pull-up threes. And then the last thing I'll say is this, because I want to save Schroder thoughts for the last segment. Ron Holland, I think he's hit a little bit of a rookie wall, which is fine. It's not a huge deal. Almost all the rookies hit a rookie wall, and I think he's hitting one right now. The last few games hasn't been as impressive from him. It seems like he's struggling a little bit over the last few games. I don't know if he's getting tired. His legs are getting heavy because obviously you play so much more in the NBA than you do in college. Or actually, he played in the G League, so he should be somewhat accustomed to playing a lot. But yeah, he's hitting a rookie wall. Didn't have a very good 2 games against Chicago. 0 for 7 total, only 2 points, 6 fouls, Wasn't very good the last few games. But with Ron, like I've said numerous times, he's improved basically throughout the entire year. All throughout the year, it seems like he has gotten better and better and better as the days gone on. So him hitting a rookie wall is not that big of a deal, but they're going to need him for the rest of the year. This is a guy who is a mainstay in their rotation. It's not like he plays every now and then as a rookie. He is a mainstay in the rotation. He's played almost all of their games. He's averaging, 15 minutes a game. Recently, we've seen him start to get closer to 20 minutes, even though in these Chicago games, not so much. They need him to be, much better, and they need him to be closer to what he was before these Chicago games and a few games before that as well. Like I said, I think this All-Star break would do great things for him. Let him rest, relax, chill, and kind of just get mentally prepared for the rest of the year. I think it would be good for him. I think the All-Star break is arriving at a good time for all of these players. But Ron, they need Ron to be, what he's been for the majority of the year. I think he will be. Just refresh, get into the right mental space. I think he'll be good. But they need him. They do need him to be better. So let me know in the comment section down below, though. Who do you guys think, or what is your to-do list, actually? What's your to-do list of things that have to get better for them, that they have to improve on, for the Pistons to maintain how they've been playing and keep a hold of this 6th seed and avoid the play-in altogether? Let me know in the comment section down below or over on Twitter at KukaHill. When we come back, early thoughts on Schroder. Not many games. This is a small sample. I just want to give my early thoughts on how he's played heading into the All-Star break. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. Hit that subscribe button. We are just under 150 subscribers away from 10K. Leave us a 5-star review, whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. Also, subscribe to the personal YouTube channel at KukaHill. And also join us at Playback. We'll be watching the All-Star game. Actually, I don't know. We'll watch the All-Star game, the Rookie Challenge, and the 3-point competition because that's what Cade's in. I'll be hosting a room. All Pistons fans will be in there watching it with us. Link down below. Join the room. Should be a lot of fun. All right, so my early thoughts on Dennis Schroder and how he's played for the Pistons. This is the only thing I'm watching for with Dennis Schroder. I think I told you guys this when they acquired him, that it was the only thing I was watching for. And each game that we've had on Playback, I've said it to you guys who are in there. I've said it to the fans in there. The only thing I'm watching with Schroder is he more like the guy in Brooklyn or is he more like the guy in Golden State? Is he getting paint touches or is he no longer able to be his guy off the dribble and get to the paint? Those are the things I am watching for. Because after the Pistons acquired him, I talked with some Golden State people and I've talked with some Brooklyn people about how he looked in Brooklyn. And I obviously talked with some Golden State people about how he looked in Golden State. And those I heard from in Brooklyn said, yeah, he was fantastic. He was great. We loved him. He got anywhere he wanted to. Like, he was playing great. All that stuff. But when I talked with those in Golden State, the main thing that I kept hearing from those in Golden State was he can't be his guy off the dribble no more. He can't get to the paint consistently anymore. He wasn't able to, and that affected his shot diet. Now, a lot of people, and we brought it up on the podcast, that his rim pressure rate went from, I believe, like 27% with Brooklyn down to 9% with Golden State. And a lot of people were speculating, okay, is it that more of Golden State's type of system, their movement off ball, build around Steph Curry and his gravity, is that more a product of their offensive system versus in Brooklyn, obviously, when he's running a lot of pick and roll and has the ball in his hands a lot? Or is he really starting to gas out, and is he really just not able to beat guys off the dribble anymore? Is that, which one is it? So that's all I've been watching for since he's played with the Pistons. Now, mind you, it's only been 3 games, so I'm nowhere near trying to write the storybook ending for Dennis Schroder with the Detroit Pistons. I'm nowhere near trying to say this is where it will be for the rest of the year. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just simply evaluating what we've seen in 3 games. And through these 3 games, I do think it's a little bit concerning because I have not seen him able to beat guys off the dribble. I have not seen him be able to get to the paint consistently. He hasn't been creating drive and kick opportunities that often. He's shooting really poorly. Now, again, it's only 3 games. Not writing the storybook ending here. This is now analyzing how it's looked so far. 26% from the field. Nearly half of his attempts are 3-point looks. He's taking 18, or he's shooting 18% on twos, and a lot of those twos with the Pistons have been pull-up middies, runners, not necessarily shots at the rim. So that's what's most concerning for me. Now, maybe he's one of those guys that desperately need this All-Star break. He's a little older of a player. He's 31 years old. Get to the All-Star break, refresh, get your legs back under you, and maybe he comes back out and he looks more like the guy we saw in Brooklyn, the guy we've seen for the majority of his career that can get to the paint consistent because of how quick he is. Hopefully that's the case because they need that out of him. They 100% need Schroder to be able to generate paint touches. That is why they went out and got him, because their backup guards and their bench lineup without Cade on the floor were just unable to touch the paint and get the defense in rotation. That was the biggest problem with the Pistons bench lineup all season, is that they could not get the defense in rotation to create good looks. So they went out and got Schroder, who has been known throughout his career to be able to get to the paint because of how quick he is. But like I said, that's what I'm watching for. Is he more like the guy we saw in Golden State that is struggling to beat guys out the dribble? Is that more system, or is that more about decline in play? Again, through 3 games, I've been a little concerned with what I've seen, but like I said, it's a small sample. And All-Star break maybe is getting in at the perfect time for him to recover and get some of his legs back and hopefully be much better after the All-Star break and be that consistent paint touch that the Pistons desperately need. I don't think it's been too fantastic so far through 3 games. But again, we got allowed the season to go. Very small sample size. We'll see how it goes. But before we wrap up the podcast, man, I just want to say, truly, at the All-Star break, I don't think anybody could have imagined that they would be this good, the Pistons. I mean, literally, this is the best season to this point since, we've already said it like 30 times, since 2009. Like, I can't believe that they're playing this well. I can't believe that they're clicking like this. I want to give a ton of credit to JB Bickerstaff. JB Bickerstaff deserves a ton of credit for how he has this team clicking, for how he's completely turned around a team that had 14 wins last year. They've already doubled their wins. Cade's playing at the best level of his career. Jalen Duren is starting to look like he's improving. Ausar Thompson, he's finally starting to use Ausar Thompson in a way that has him flourishing, absolutely flourishing. The locker room loves each other. He has to play a part in that, obviously. I think JB has been absolutely fantastic for the Pistons. Obviously, when he was hired, I think there were some questions about whether he would be the right hire by Pistons fans, but I don't think that there's any second guessing as of right now, or any kind of regret at all for Trajan going after JB. This guy has been tremendous for the team. He holds them accountable. They respect him, and they allow him to coach them. They allow him to criticize them, and they take the criticism and allow that to motivate them rather than piss them off, basically. And also, I just saw this. I didn't mention it earlier. Jalen Duren's stat line in this last game against the Bulls: 16 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks on 6 of 7 shooting. I mean, that right there, that's the guy that's the potential, dude. That's it. We know about his finishing, interior finishing. We know about how great his hands are on lobs and catching the ball. We know how active he is on the glass. We know about his athleticism. But the consistency now with the playmaking, the stocks, the activity he's having on defense. This is the guy that they envision he could be, and he's doing that, man. I hope he continues it, because if he does, man, that's extension worthy. But ton of credit to JB, man. JB's been fantastic for the Pistons. I'm honestly shocked at how great he's been, and I think he has to be. Probably won't win it. I understand. Probably won't win it. Definitely probably should go to Kenny Atkinson, if you want me to be honest. But he definitely should be like in consideration for Coach of the Year. Should get some respect in those discussions. Doesn't have to win it. We're aware of what Cleveland's doing, but he should be getting talked about how great of a job he has been, or how great of a job he's done for the Detroit Pistons. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. Free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. Less than 150 subscribers away from 10K. Leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. Subscribe to the personal YouTube channel at Kook Hill. Join us in the playback rooms. I'll link it down below in the description. I'll make sure I put it in bold print so you guys can see it. But until next time, I will see you guys later. Stay safe out there. Till next time, peace out, everybody.